I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crime addict connoisseur.
And we are two girls who obsess about dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
And here's your disclaimer, chatters. The following crime chat contains adult content and descriptions of, I guess, potentially violent scenarios today. There's not a whole lot on this case as far as what happens, but we're going to all get
Yeah,
into that. Either way, your listener discretion is still advised.
you've been warned. And before we get into today's crime chat, Kat, what have you done?
So Chris and I have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it
Mhm.
finally came out where we could rent it.
Mm.
Napoleon, the movie Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, okay. And
Reminded me how much I don't know about Napoleon.
really?
Throughout the whole time, we're both of us are like doing, did he do this? Did he do that? Like, it's 2.5 hours long.
Okay.
And only about a third of the movie is actually based on fact. But Alexa, who directed Napoleon?
Napoleon was directed by Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. So
Okay.
it was directed by Ridley Scott. So it's production wise, it's going to be like a great movie. Joaquin Phoenix, mwah, amazing, amazing actor.
Mm-hmm.
But we just found ourselves like the whole time looking up historical facts like about it. Super interesting. I think we might have talked about this before, but at his autopsy, they took out his brain and his heart, and they cut off his penis. Now, nobody knows why the medical examiner cut off his penis, but it eventually like went to the black market and was sold to like a bunch of different people, and it's in a museum, the like
Penis.
a French museum in New York City right now. His
His penis.
penis. His penis, yes.
Are you kidding me?
You've never heard that before?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap. I had no, the more you know, chatters.
The more you
You
know.
can go see Napoleon's Ding Dong in Manhattan, is it? Okay. That
It
little
was like,
crazy man.
yeah, yeah. And he actually wasn't as short as people like think he was. He was about 5'6", which is 5'6" to
Oh.
5'8". Yeah, which isn't really that short. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe by today's standards or whatever, but it's yeah, he wasn't really that short.
I wonder if that was like just a nasty rumor that somebody said about him and it just
Mhm.
stuck because people
There's
hated him at one
there's
point.
just there was a lot of whenever we were looking it up during the movie, like looking up all historical facts, there was a lot of myths about
Yeah.
him. And we're just like, oh, okay. But his penis is in New York City. So last year, I was telling you about the documentary, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Did you ever watch it?
I know the story. I've
Mhm.
seen I think I didn't watch the documentary that you're speaking of, but I know of the story. I was
Mhm.
watching the case at one point.
But what is crazy is the
Uh-huh.
sequel came out and it's Natalia Speaks. So it's her side of the story. It's fucking
Oh.
insane. They actually get her and the adoptive father in a room together and
Right.
start
Yeah.
talking. One thing that we could tell about it is a lot of it was scripted.
Mm.
Like a lot of it was fed, like
Yeah.
do this, react this way for good TV. Get it,
Right.
right? What you can't deny is they ended up doing genetic testing on her. Spoiler
Mm-hmm.
alert. And she, in fact, was 8 or 9 years old when they emancipated her and made her live on her own.
Oh.
She, no doubt, has been through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
The adoptive father, Michael Barnett, is a fucking nutcase and drama
Yeah.
queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The adoptive mother has not said has been part of any of the documentaries, but there's a reason why she hasn't spoken out is because there's no defense to her story.
Yeah.
None. They teased another documentary that's going to be coming soon because in the last 30 seconds of the documentary, you've got the new adopted father man's new adoptive mother
Right.
man's going, she's crazy. She's crazy. You got to get her out of here. And then they're like, mic drop. Psh, basically, come back for more later.
So it's funny that you should mention Joaquin Phoenix because I just watched the movie The Joker. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I want to,
Mm.
but I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
Jared Leto is my favorite Joker. He's the lead
Mm.
singer of 30 Seconds to Mars. He
I
was on
know.
Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
And I can't bring myself to watch another actor play Joker because I was fascinated the way he did it. He's phenomenal.
Yes. So Joaquin Phoenix did, I think, an amazing like performance of
Hmm.
the beginnings of the Joker. So like
Hmm.
how it isn't so much so sinister. It's not really
Hmm.
sinister. It's not really like manipulative or like
Yeah.
somebody who's just psychotic. It has nothing to do with that. It really is about depression and mental health. The last 5 minutes of the movie, it always reverted back to his mental health. Like he even
Hmm.
said it. Like, like I think the last scene of the movie was him on a TV show that he like idolized this one guy. He's like a Johnny Carson type of guy.
Hmm.
And he finally got on the show, and because he was a fool, he was acting like a fool, and the
Hmm.
guy, the talk show host, wanted to make fun of him, and he just sat there and just listened to him, and he's like, put it back on him and said, you're the evil in this world. And he's like, what do you mean I'm evil? I have you on my show and I'm giving you an opportunity. He's like, because you're literally making fun of my mental health. And then it just
Oh,
took off from there. And I'm
shit.
like, he did a really good job, but it's not what you think it is. So it's not like
Hmm.
the typical Joker.
Okay.
This was like legit somebody who was suffering the whole
Hmm.
movie. And I'm like, I have to watch it again. It's the Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
told me about that new movie that came out, I'm like, all right, I gotta just revisit the old one. And I forgot how freaking good the old one was.
Yes.
Do you remember who played him in the 1972? Do you remember who Detective
No.
Poirot was? I don't
No.
know who that actor was.
Yeah. Who played Hercules Poirot in 1972?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor. In the television series, Kevin Sorbo played Hercules.
Oh, talking about his Hercules TV show.
Okay. Before you get into your story,
Yes.
I figured we haven't had a crime chat trivia intro in a long time, and I haven't tested you in a long time, and I want to make sure that your knives are sharp at all times. Here we go. Which serial killer enjoyed dressing up as a clown and working for charity events?
Oh, John Wayne Gacy.
Very good. Ding, 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 ding. Very good. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre is associated with which famous criminal?
Al Pacino.
Very good. Very good. In Chicago, the criminal H.H. Holmes had a house in Chicago, which eventually bore the nickname.
Well, I know we kind of teased this story. It's a unsolved case. It is still currently open, and it's actually a chatter request. So Chatter Debbie, shout out to Debbie.
Hey,
A
Debbie.
huge supporter of
Yes.
our crime chat. She
love
recommended
Debbie.
this case, and it's an unsolved missing persons case from more than 3 decades ago from Columbia, South Carolina, just
Oh.
down the road. And she was vanished. She just was gone. When parents Dan and Jean Dinwiddie woke up around 6 a.m., they noticed Dail hadn't come home. Her lights and radio were on in her bedroom, but her bed had not been slept in. Her father called around to her friends. No one had seen her. By 8:30 in the morning, September 24th, they called police to report their only daughter missing. At the University of South Carolina's William Bryce Stadium, and that's like where the football team, the USC Gamecocks, that's where they play.
Okay. Just, you know what? It's funny that you said Gamecocks because now all I can think is Napoleon.
Oh.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.